South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rockin' dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grandview Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grandview Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grandview Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby. South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book. Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
This is the best sports betting network.
I would argue it is a total mismatch.
There's value with underdog prices in series.
I would lean to the under here.
My numbers are saying I got to bet the Tigers.
Two-way action.
When in doubt, we juice that favorite, that extra nickel.
Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
Forget about it. The best.
It's Sports by the Book at the South Point Studio. Here's Jeff Parles and Alex White.
Welcome in. It is a Friday edition of Sports by the Book. I'm Jeff Parles. She is Alex White. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning. Just 2 months of NBA postseason, but the wait is almost over. But now the Pacers have pushed it, so we have the 2 best words in sports.
It is Game 7. It is not. It is. I can tell you that. But it is Game 7, which we'll hit in a second here. Actually, we're going to bring Adam Rosenberg in about 3 minutes to talk baseball. We did not expect the Game 7. I thought it was going to end last night, and boy, could we have? I couldn't have been more wrong. Which happens from time to time if you watch the show. You know that. But Pacers dominant, forced Game 7. Alex, we have the lowest total, not a surprise, and the lowest line in a game in Oklahoma City, also not a surprise. 7 and 215.5. There's a lot of 7.5s in the market. I got to tell you right now, I'm not betting Game 7. It's not happening. I know that everyone will probably be on the under, but I mean we're 10 points lower than we were in Game 6. We'll see what happens. The only bet I would even consider making right now would be betting Jalen Williams to win the MVP of this series at 11-1. That'd be the only thing I'd be considering to do. I expect Oklahoma City to win, but there's no comfort in laying a number. There's no comfort in taking a total that's 10 points lower, actually 12.5 points lower of the high water mark in this series. It would only be a Jalen Williams flyer at 11-1 to win MVP.
I do like that, especially at that number 11-1 here. Just a couple things. I don't know how we missed it, really, because at this point, I mean, do the Thunder even deserve to win? How do you go 1-8 ATS on the road? They have just been terrible. So being back at Indiana, and the other thing that kind of frustrates me is you see all the media and they're still talking about Halliburton. And yes, he did play through everything, but it was a team effort. I mean, Siakam out-rebounded Chet Holmgren. He had a fantastic game. We saw Obi Toppin, again, come off the bench, a lot of points there. So they are a very good unit, and it was definitely a team effort there. Disappointing from the big guys for the Thunder, right? 14 combined points for those two. Can happen. I don't think it will happen again back at home. So I definitely lean that way. But I agree with you. I think if you want the best bang for your buck, trying to make a small bet and getting a nice 11-1, that's the way to go.
And even with that bad road ATS record, Oklahoma City still enters Game 7 with the best spread record in the last 30 years in the NBA. So there you go. They 2 non-covers at home this postseason. That was it.
Yeah.
The Game 1 against Denver and Game 1 in this series. And that was it. They've covered every other game at home this series. No plays for us. We don't have a show on Sunday. We'll react on Monday morning. So that's what we got.
Can finally put a bow on
that's crazy. Yeah, well, we may have draft thoughts on Monday as well, but I like OKC to win, but no bets except for that Jalen Williams MVP flyer for me. Before we bring Adam Rosenberg in, you see him on SGPN. I just saw this morning, and I just want to bring this up real quick. Our good friend Dave Sharapan, who you know on Twitter as Sportsbook Consigliere, announced this morning that he's going to be stepping away from his show because he's been diagnosed with cancer. Dave, we're all with you, friend. Dave is one of the nicest people in this industry. He always has a positive attitude when you see him in person and even on social media, which we know how hard it is to have a positive attitude on social media 100% of the time. But our thoughts are with you, Dave. Hope for the best and a quick recovery so we can hear you back yet again soon. So thoughts with Dave. He put it out a very heartfelt tweet thread this morning at Sportsbook Consigliere. So check that out if you haven't. But Dave, our thoughts from the show with you here this morning. All right, there's no artful way to segue over, but we'll bring in our good friend Adam Rosenberg right now. Hey, Rosenberg on the tweets. You see him on SGPN. Dad's Bet Baseball on the tweets. Adam, good morning. It's good to see you today. And I do not hear Adam. Adam will.
I had a boomer moment just there.
There
I was
we go.
on mute.
There we go. Look at you.
Right. See,
it's not a Zoom meeting, Adam. We can't have you on mute all the time.
I bail on those anyway. Now that I listen to myself. Look, so and this ad on the Sharapan stuff, which really stinks. There's a GoFundMe that's also going around if you find any of his account. Matt Parles got out there if you're looking, and I know that he's got a lot of stuff coming up. So we're all thinking about Dave Sharapan right now. But I am here to talk about some Friday baseball, and I'm excited to see you in person in 2 weeks for meals and fun. It'll be good. And baseball because nothing else will be going on because we got one more NBA game and that's it.
So Adam, I just want to start little macro here because, of course, you're a Phillies fan. I'm a Mets fan. The Mets enter Philadelphia this weekend playing not as poorly. They were playing the worst baseball they played all year by margin, just got swept in back-to-back series. But the NL East, the Mets and Phillies enter tied going into this weekend. But I got to ask you about the team that's 10 games behind both of these teams because they've won 3 straight series. They just beat the Mets' ass for 3 straight games. Let's call it how it is. The Braves, here, Adam. Look, we've been waiting for a stretch where Atlanta looks like this high-end team we thought they were going to be going into the year. Again, they're still 5 games under 500. They're still 5 out of a playoff spot. But Adam, is there life here? Do you look at the Braves as in those to make the playoff markets, or God forbid a divisional market here? Or do you think, all right, this is a nice little stretch, but they're more of what we've seen for the majority of this season?
The simplest version is no. This team stinks.
Okay.
I'm actively pushing what I think would be a really good trade for them. I think that they should trade Sean Murphy and Grant Holmes to the Angels for Jose Serrano and bring back TDA so they can give Drake Baldwin more playing time. And you got an expiring contract for a catcher. But anyway, I'm not the GM. I don't matter. Look, like you said, this Braves team is still like 6 games under 500, despite, quote, getting hot and opening the season 0-7. They're on pace for 83 wins. So that's not going to cut it. That's not going to make the playoffs in the NL. This team isn't very good. I think that they, because as you look at some of the teams that they're going to be battling with, the Diamondbacks are in a great position to sell, but we can talk about them another day. The Brewers, the Cardinals, who I don't think are going to stick around. The Reds, I think, will probably stick around a little bit, but 83 win pace isn't great. This team also just really desperately needs pitching. And I'm willing to look past that Mets sweep that happened with the Rays. I think that you could argue that this series against the Braves, that there was a look ahead series to that Phillies series with the Mets. So I'm not really worried about the Mets slipping out. And I just do think that the Mets and Phillies are far away better than this Braves team that's going to be, might play some competitive baseball, but they're going to be outside looking in. They have multiple players that are in bottom percentile in K rate. Just, Ronald Acuna does Ronald Acuna things, but the rest of that lineup really leaves a lot to be lacking. Especially since Alex Verdugo is getting active reps in center field there. So and left field. So yeah, I think this Braves team stinks. I'm selling them today against the Marlins.
I want to ask you about the game today between you two's team really quickly before we get into the American League and some macro there. But of course, the Mets have Blade Tidell, just his second career big league start. And on the other side, it is Zach Wheeler, who I think is the Phillies' best pitcher as of right now. 11 quality starts for him this year. That price is just pretty ridiculous, minus 185 for a rivalry like this. I was looking at first five, maybe run line there. It's minus 150. Adam, help me. Is there any way to bet this game and to bet Zach Wheeler?
I think the best way to probably bet, obviously the Mets are his former team. They've gotten to him a couple times, but overall he's had a pretty good record against the Mets. I would go with the under here. I know we're getting hitting season in the Northeast. We are getting rain spots, so there's a couple ways that this under gets there. First of all, Mets and Phillies aren't tearing apart the ball right now hitting wise. These teams play pretty tight. Wheeler, as you know, obviously, I think I've spoken to this with Jeff many times, but I think Wheeler is the bet that you should make right now for Cy Young. Yeah. I think he's got a good path to that. But even money for the under 8.5, I think is a solid bet here. You're going to get Wheeler going at least 6 and holding things into place. And then you kind of don't have to worry. You're hoping that you don't really get a lot of big bats. The Phillies haven't ever really been able to take advantage of rookie pitchers. I remember I was at the game where Reese Olson pitched his first game on the Tigers, and I think he no-hit him for 5 innings. So I'm not too concerned on that end, but I would go with the under here for this Phillies game. Wheeler tends to keep things in check. And, if you want, maybe go a little bit extra, maybe a exact first plate appearance K for Francisco Lindor.
It's going to be a back and forth deal all summer long with the Mets and the Phillies. Both teams have now, and the Mets have blown a 5-game lead. The Phillies blew a 5-game lead. Now the Mets have already blown a 4.5-game lead. So it's just going to go back and forth with these two teams all summer long. Again, it's Wheeler and Tidwell here today. Just, boy, that first start for Blade, he got hit up pretty good by St. Louis in a similar spot start scenario. One more macro I want to ask you before we get to your official plays of the day, Adam, and I know you hinted at one already. The Boston Red Sox, who have been dragged through the mud the last week due to the fact that they traded their best player for really not much of anything. They ended up getting a solid prospect back, but guys who are major league ready were not pitching well to begin with, especially Hicks, who came across. But you are not a buyer of, hey, the Red Sox are packing it in for 2025. You went out and you took some futures on the Red Sox here, like the crazy person you can be from time to time, Adam.
Yeah, look, I'm also a former Bay Area resident, which I like to tell people I was a Bay Area resident during the greatest sports rise for that area. I got the Warriors championships. I got multiple Giants championships. It was a great time to be there. But I'm not here to talk about the Giants. I'm here to talk about how I think that the Red Sox and the Giants, I don't know if the teams really changed that much other than maybe vibes after this trade. The big thing, the problem that the Red Sox have is that they overpromised a lot of players in certain positions, simply that they would have those positions and they didn't think about contingency plans. You talked to Rafi Devers about moving from third base, and then you clearly signed a third baseman in Alex Bregman. Shabbat shalom to Rabbi Bregman today. But I don't think that this is a great park in general for hitting. I'm not really impressed by this Giants team. I loved Buster Posey. I don't think he's a great GM. I think Willie Adames is terrible on that team. But with this Red Sox team, I still think that they got a lot of good players that are kind of moving forward. They're also kind of hot right now. They're going to be getting guys back in August. They're going to get Sandoval back in August. It's going to help out some of that pitching. They've stayed afloat. Last year, they stayed afloat and still were competitive towards the end. So while they have a big gaping hole at first base, which they could be filling with former Philly Rhys Hoskins, I think that would be a good fit for them. I took some of their exact I don't think they can win the pennant, but I would love for them to make a run to get there. Since the AL is generally chalky, and I think there's a huge gap between the Yankees and Tigers and everyone else, I took Red Sox versus Detroit and Red Sox versus Yankees as the AL exactas. I got them at 35, 40 to 1, and you only have to put a little bit on, and this is a really unique way to play a team to make a run against if you think that they're going to be on the other side of bracket to a top 2 seed. So I've done this with a couple teams, but the one with the Red Sox I like the most just because them to make the playoffs isn't really worth it to me on the short odds. I'd rather them kind of put together the 3-man and win a couple series. And, obviously, weirdly, those odds got shorter after the Devers trade. I don't know why, but I'm still into some of those fun, crazy bets from time to time, as you mentioned.
Adam, let's get into some of your plays you really like today. Going to the interleague here, George Kirby has not been quite the same just yet. 5 starts under his belt, and then Matthew Boyd has been fantastic, the lefty for the Cubs. Chicago minus 130 and the total 9.5. What are you looking at here?
Like the Cubs on the run line here, and the Cubs haven't been that great lately, but Kirby's been awful on the road just his entire career. One of those guys who's been truly protected from playing in T-Mobile. I would argue that Matthew Boyd is really the ace of this Cubs staff. Seattle also just terrible team against lefties. They just lost to Garrett Crochet, looked listless at home, 3-1. They, for me, it's just, they've only gotten more than 2 earned runs off of a left-handed starter once since May 28th, and that was Tyler Anderson, who I do not put in the same league as Matthew Boyd. I don't think the Cubs are going to have a lot of problems scoring here. Wind is blowing out. Boyd's a pretty solid ground ball pitcher. So give me the Cubs to run up the score. The Mariners are also 0-8 on the run line, even getting both getting and giving for their last 8 road games. So, yeah, Cubbies plus money, minus 1.5 runs for me.
Adam, let's go to New York next, and you got 2 bets on this game, and then one of these bets is the quote unquote Adam Rosenberg bet of the summer.
It's the bet of the summer.
The bet of the summer, which we'll get to second, but this is a gigantic price on Baltimore here today at Yankee Stadium. They're plus 245 with Sagano against Max Fried, who has obviously been spectacular for the Yankees. So is this price good enough on the Orioles? And then after that, Adam, tell everyone what the bet of the summer is and what you're taking here in this game.
So I'm taking the O's in this game. The O's, the Yankees team's had problems with the Orioles since Gunnar Henderson really showed up. The last couple of years. They are the O's are 10-6 against them over the last 2 years. They're 5-2 in Yankee Stadium. Something also anecdotally that we've seen with rookie pitchers or first-time starters in Yankee Stadium, there's a myth that they get just freaked out and start to get nervous when they're at Yankee Stadium. They actually don't. They play up. I remember Jose Barrios pitching his first game at Yankee Stadium. He struck out 11 guys. So Sagano's, I know, going to be pitching his first. I don't put him in. Well, I don't think Jose Barrios is very good, but I don't put him in the same realm as this. I think he's going to pitch up today. I like the Orioles. I mean, Orioles at 2-1 with the way the Yankees are playing is kind of crazy. Max Fried, obviously, favorite player of mine. Shabbat shalom to Max Fried as well. High school teammate of Jack Flaherty. But this isn't going to be. This isn't the game that I'm backing the Yankees. I'm going to back the Orioles here. But I do like, as I've said, the bet of the summer for those that have not been following me is the DP. And get your mind out of the gutter. The DP is a double play. Turn a double play is a market sweeping the nation. It's obviously the bet of the summer. I like Max Fried. Max Fried induces double plays like it's nobody's business. He pitches to contact, and he loves to do this. Orioles are not really a power hitting team, and they like to hit a lot of singles. So you got guys on base. Minus 110 for the Yanks to turn a double play, which I think is super possible in this game. I would even take the other side. I like Sagan. Sagan is the best double play pitcher on the Orioles, but give me the Yankees to do that, especially with the way that Free does. I think he had 3 in the last game. He's got 12 on the season. So the double play market is a real fun one. It's an electric sweat, Jeff. It's sitting there watching the entire game to just see who's going to get on base and then who's going to ruin the entire rally for everybody. It's fantastic.
I'm here for it. Is this available at most books, Adam?
Yeah, you can get it. You can get it in most places. I do it a lot on the Green Book out here. But there is, but I'm sure that you could go to any trade desk and say, hey, can you give me this? And it's a lot of the below the fold markets are a lot of fun. And this is easily my favorite one. I think I'm up 12 units on it since I started betting it a month ago. Angels are a really good double play team. The teams that have guys that walk a lot are fantastic double play teams. Yeah, he's good. Double play God, Christopher Sanchez. I would highly recommend whenever the Phillies start him, back him blindly, and they don't know how to price it. It's great. I love this bet.
The Green Book is one with a crown, and also Adam, I'm very impressed that you got a newspaper reference into this hit as well with the
I'm 44.
That was very good. That was very good for people that don't know. Newspapers still do exist in most spots. All right, Adam. Before we get you out of here, you teased it at the beginning. Oh boy, what a weird one. What a weird pitching matchup in Miami today. It's Fuentes for the Braves against Junk from Miami. What a great pitcher's name that is, Junk. Plus 125 on the fish for this one here, Adam.
Former Yankees prospect, I think. John. Yeah, he's been pretty good. So the Marlins actually do really well when Marlins bullpen stinks, but they do really well when they do bullpen-esque games. So I like this. Also, the Braves are only minus 140 favorites after they swept the Mets. This is I hate doing this, but it's a telling line across the board. Marlins are live here. The fish are going to jump all over Fuentes. Fuentes has really good case stuff, but a lot of that is automated balls and strikes in AAA. And it doesn't have a ton of swinging strikes. So and this Miami team isn't really striking out that much. So give me the fish on the money line. They played a pretty competitive series against the Phillies. They were in it the entire time. Their starters were fantastic. And I like Junk here. Maybe, I don't know if he can go 5. If he goes 5, you could sprinkle on probably an obscene price for him to get the win, but probably at least 3-1, I'd imagine. But give me the fish today on the money line against the Braves because the Braves stink.
There we go. Adam Rosenberg again on the fish here today. He's on the Chicago Cubs run line against the Mariners. Big price on Baltimore, and of course the bet of the summer, the Yankees to turn a double play behind Max Fried here today. I can get Adam Rosenberg on the tweets at Hey Rosenberg. Again, Adam, you're all over the place. MLB on SGPN, and of course. Everyone's favorite baseball betting podcast, the Dad's Bet Baseball podcast as well. For Adam.
Just recorded a new episode, so it'll be dropping in an hour.
There we go. Be on the lookout for that. Adam, it's a pleasure, my man. We'll see you here in Vegas in 2 weeks. Adam Rosenberg, everyone. All right, we are going to take a break. When we get back, our picks for baseball today. The trivia question will go in the bottom. Also, we'll check in with our good friend Matt Neverett, who might be swimming in champagne still. I actually really hope he is swimming in champagne still as well. When we get back, Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
Football contest sign-up season is here, and you don't want to miss out on the action. With millions of dollars on the line each and every week in the world's biggest football contest, there's only one proxy to trust, footballcontest.com. Maddie and Tony have set the gold standard for football contest proxy services with 20 years of experience and over 13 million in winnings for their clients. All you have to do is get to Vegas between now and the start of football season to sign up in person, and they do the rest, making sure your picks are entered every week. Whether you want to play in the Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, Super Contest Gold, or the new Super Contest College Contest, Maddie and Tony have you covered. Their new website has everything you need to know about these football contests and more, including how you can reserve the best proxy in the business. Experience matters, so go with the pros at footballcontest.com, the gold standard proxy service. Welcome back, everybody. Make sure and check that ticker. Trivia is live, and it is Friday, and every Friday our show is sponsored by footballcontest.com. Make sure you check out that website. It is time to sign up for any football contest, and if you are going to this summer, you got to go with the pros at footballcontest.com. Experience matters, so visit proxy.footballcontest.com and use the promo code ALEX for a special offer from Maddie and Tony. Take it from us. They are the best. So visit that website there.
Promo code Alex. That's look, you got all the promo codes now.
Something about the football contest. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. They're the best. Everything Alex just said. And there you go, right on your screen right there, as you saw, footballcontest.com. All right. From football to baseball. We'll be doing that a lot these next few months, Alex.
Yeah.
We go to Miami first. Adam's on, who we just had, Adam Rosenberg. He's on the fish here in this one. What a weirdo pitching matchup this is. Junk, who has only appeared 3 times so far this year, and Fuentes just making his first appearance of the year for Atlanta. Here's the deal. It's MLB debut, by the way, for Didier Fuentes as well. He's minus 40, totals 9. I'm staying the heck away from this. I just wonder for Atlanta, it sets up nicely now. You just swept the Mets. You're again, still 10 games out, but on 3 straight series, you see the worst team in the division before going to New York for 4 big ones against the Mets. Yet again, I got to stay off of this. I think if we got another 10 cents with Miami, game on. Well, maybe even another 15, but not a plus 125 for me.
No, and Jeff, you brought up the Braves, I think, a month ago and talking about a good time, and I said they're only above 2 teams right now in the NL, but now I am starting to become a little bit of a believer here. We'll see if they can keep it going. I'm not going to jump in with futures or anything, but because I am worried about their pitching, just like Adam had mentioned here. But nothing for me in this game. If anything, I'd probably back the rookie getting his first start. I do think that's a pretty cheap price, and I do think the Braves are playing pretty well.
Yeah, I still not buying the Braves full term now. If they get to the All-Star break and they're 3 games out of a wild card spot, then different deal. But right now, still a lot of fish to hop. No Marlins to hop, though, anymore for Atlanta. All right, we go to the AL East matchup. Phillies and Mets are tied entering the weekend, and the Phillies have a monster pitching advantage here today. Blade Tidwell makes his 2nd career start against the Cy Young candidate, Zach Wheeler, minus 85 on Wheeler, which actually is the best price in the market on Philadelphia in this game. Tidwell's plus 165 on a take-back, total 8.5. Mets are not hitting right now. Phillies playing better. Of course, they just alternating with these 2 teams. One team's hot at one point. The other team's playing awful. Mets had their big stretch when the Phillies won 1-10. Now the Mets have lost 6 straight games, and the Phillies have only lost twice in their last 8. So alternating hot streaks and alternating not playing well for both of these teams.
But Adam brought this up as well. I mean, the Phillies managed to win a few of those against the Marlins, but I mean, Miami kept it very competitive. They weren't crushing them by any means. I don't hate that under, but I agree with you. Big pitching mismatch here. Zach Wheeler is the guy you want to back here in this spot. I do think that number is just a little bit too high for me to jump in. If anything, I'm thinking more of a Mets team total under 3.5. If Wheeler can go 6, which he already did the first time he saw them, and it's pretty stretched out, April 23rd, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 9 strikeouts to 2 walks. I think if he can do that again, hopefully the Phillies bullpen can keep it in check enough to keep them under 3.5.
I'm staying totally clear of this series, period. Even though this feels like a game, if you're Philadelphia, if you lose, you're asking for a little bit of trouble this weekend. Mets have Canning and Peterson the rest of the weekend, including Sunday Night Baseball in Philadelphia. All right, to St. Louis we go. Reds and Redbirds.
You know what, Jeff? I'm going to switch that. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go Braves team total over.
Oh, you've changed games.
With the weather. I'm sorry. I'm going Phillies team total over.
I was going to say, going team total over for the Phillies against Tidwell, which I think is the right move. 4.5's the numbers.
Talking about those three in that division, you know, he just mix them all
all
up
good.
there.
It's all good. They're all NL East teams, and we just had them back to back. All happens. Redbirds, Reds, Cardinals -45 with Palante against Singer. You know, both of these teams are in a really bizarre spot right now because Cardinals are tied with the Brewers for second. Reds are a game behind because they've played one less game than everybody. I just am curious to see what happens with these two teams over the next month because with the extra playoffs, with the 6 teams in each league, you allow more teams to stay in the race for longer. And then you, in essence, impact how the trade deadline is handled. See right there, Reds and Cardinals are still totally in the thick of it. Cardinals only a half game behind San Diego. Reds a game and a half. I just wonder for both of these teams. Cardinals, I don't think will buy. They just are not in a buying mode. Reds are interesting, though, because you hired Tito Francona in the offseason. How long is he going to manage the team? They make a few small Schroeder moves. This is a big series. It's a big series to potentially see which way you're going. I like St. Louis here tonight with Palante, but boy, I would have rather had that -30 that it opened at as opposed to 15 cents more to the expensive on St. Louis.
I do think the Reds are very interesting for the futures market because right now they've been without Hunter Green, who is definitely the best pitcher. I like what I've seen from Nick Lodolo and Andrew Abbott. Brady Singer right now is playing pretty good, even away from home, which we know he struggled when he was with KC. So I do like their pitching staff. I think even a little bit better than the Cardinals. Now, Palante, he is definitely above average pitcher going here today, but I think those numbers are just right, -145 with him at home, and I think the total is right as well because looking at both of these two teams, they have been hitting in the last 7 days, so I'm just going to stay off of this one.
Can't really blame you, especially now with the move on St. Louis. Going next to Colorado, it's Gallen and Gomber. Austin Gomber actually pitched pretty well in his first start of the year for the Rockies last time out. Colorado coming off a series win. They did get walked off yesterday. James Wood. Boy, what a player James Wood already is. Imagine what it'll be when the Nats actually are reasonable again, hopefully in 2 years for their sake. Gallen's -80. Total's 12. Weather in Denver tonight. And this is the key to the operation. The wind is blowing out, and it's, oh my God, 96 degrees in Denver. Alex, I know with his pitcher, I know Gallen hasn't pitched well. Gomber's pitched well in his first start. This is a weather principle over for me here. Wind blowing out, and it's hot as hell in Colorado. Yeah, I know it's 12, but I'll go over here. Boy, that is 96 degrees in Denver. That is insanely hot for that region of the country.
Where are those Diamondbacks? They have slipped down a little bit, 13th against lefties, but still, they do have a very dominant lineup there. That's really how they've been keeping it relevant and staying in these games is really from their hitting. So I don't hate it at all. I've got nothing. I think that number's correct here on Zach Gallen. I imagine he will pitch a pretty good game, but it is Coors Field, so you never know. But I don't know. It's funny because he was really good April, early May, then he kind of dropped off, and now he's coming off of his best start, and then now he has to start in Coors Field. So maybe Diamondbacks team total, but I imagine it's probably got to be 6.5. So
just want to throw one thing out here real quick. And this is not necessarily for Colorado because Colorado, the humidity is only in the teens today. But this weekend and going into early next week on the East Coast is supposed to be, and I've meant to bring this up with the Philly Met game, the humidity and the heat are going to be temperatures we normally don't see with that combination on the East Coast. Tonight it's not too bad. This is 84 with 50% humidity. That's not terrible. Now over the weekend you could be looking at high 90s with above 70% humidity in the East Coast. That is ideal hitting conditions, especially in that I-95 corridor. So keep that in mind meant to bring that up a little bit earlier. I know, yes, nothing says I-95 corridor like Denver, Colorado, but the hot temperatures in Denver sparked my memory on that. All right, let's go to LA next. Kershaw and Gore. Dodgers, you know what, I think after last night, I think the Dodgers and the Padres are probably happy not to see each other again until August. Shilton Roberts almost came to blows last night in the ninth inning. Padres held on for dear life and won that game. Really, in essence, because Roberts, for whatever reason, took his better players out except for Ohtani early in the game when it was still a game. Kershaw's coming off his best start of the year. We know how we know how much everyone loves betting Mackenzie Gore. Yep. Alex, this is a total stay off for me. Total 8, juice to the over. Dodgers minus 90 at home.
I think the only way you could play it is that first 5 looking at the under here. And I know it is a little scary because the Dodgers, I mean, they really looked good against the Padres. Like they figured some things out and, could string some hits together. So 4.5, I think that's a pretty good number. I do trust Mackenzie Gore. I mean, he's got 10 quality starts on the year. He's already seen the Dodgers. So it was quite a while ago though, April 7th. But he did go 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs for him in that one, 7 strikeouts and 2 walks. But we know the Dodgers took a little bit of time to get going, had some injuries early on. But that's the only way I would play it, looking at that first 5 under.
Can't really blame him. Nats, again, finally busted up that losing streak yesterday with the walk-off winner in extras from James Wood.
That's another point, though. I don't fully believe that they are back after that crazy bad run. I think Kershaw should pitch well here. Yeah,
this is, again, big West Coast swing for the Nats where they go L.A., San Diego, Anaheim. Could get even uglier. No, and by the way, when they come home, they play Detroit. So it could get uglier for the Nats as we go along here. All right, we go to the Bronx next. Adam Rosenberg's on the Orioles here today. He's also on the Yankees to turn a double play behind Max Fried. Boy, what a huge number on the Yanks. Almost $3, minus 290. Total 9. I'm not betting Sagano in this ballpark, so I'm going to steer clear here, Alex.
Me either. And Max Fried is one of my favorite pitchers to back, but you can't lay that price here. I mean, I know the Yankees turned things around yesterday, but they were on a 7-game losing streak going into that one. I have it listed to find a way to back Fried, maybe not just the Yankees. So under 3.5 could be the play with the Orioles, or I might just jump in, have a little fun on a double play behind Max Fried at minus 110.
I love that bet.
I do too.
It's a fun little one for sure. Yankees finally won yesterday, so the long national nightmare was over, at least for the Yankee fans. But we'll see. But again, it's the Orioles. A team that the Yankees should be able to hit up. We know what Oriole pitching has done not well this year. We go to Tampa next. Boz and Flaherty, essentially a coin flip down at Steinbrenner Field. Rays small favorite minus 10, total 8.5. Tigers lost the second game of the double dip after Skubal pitched great in the first game last night against yesterday afternoon against Pittsburgh. Wind is crosswind today in Tampa. It's 86 degrees, and it's about a 65% chance of rain throughout the day in Tampa. We know what the deal is. I'm steering clear, Alex. It would only be a look to Flaherty, but boy, he has not pitched well on the road this year.
No, and these two, their numbers are pretty much identical looking at their last 3 starts. And Flaherty, opponents batting 184, a 4.32 xFIP, though. And Shane Baez, the exact same, batting 180 and a 4.23 xFIP here. So I do think it's a cheap price on the Tigers, minus 110. But this Tampa Bay Rays team has been so hot. I mean, they have the best offensive numbers in the last 7 days, batting 328, a 405 on-base percentage, and a 158 WRC+. Tigers aren't far behind them, but, I mean, man, this might just be an over here between these two, trusting both of these lineups.
Moving along, next game up, we go to Toronto, White Sox and Blue Jays. Blue Jays took 2 out of 3 from the Arizona Diamondbacks. White Sox, it's starting to turn into just beyond being a normal bad team. White Sox with a loss today will be 30 games under 500, less than 81 in. So we've gotten taken off the scent because they're not historically awful, and Colorado's been historically awful this year, but the White Sox have been pretty awful. Not quite as awful as they were a year ago. Martin and Turnbull, I will say this is a reasonable price on Martin here at plus 165. First 5 on Martin is plus 130. See, market's telling you on that this is more of an even starting matchup, and the advantage for Toronto in the bullpen is large. So would only be a look to the White Sox, but tread with caution as always when going a full game bet with them.
Completely agree with everything you said. I mean, I do think that we'll find some opportunity from here on to fade the White Sox and jump in, especially now because, I mean, those numbers might get even more inflated, but nothing for me here.
Last AL only game here, or next to last, I should say. We go to Anaheim next. Kikuchi and Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown has been awesome. Second best ERA in the American League, second best ERA in baseball, period. Minus 60 on him tonight at the Big A. Angels, of course, coming off winning 3 out of 4 in the Bronx. Plus 145 on Kikuchi, who's been very random, completely random to begin the year. This would only be a look to Brown and the Stros here now that they're also playing in a real major league ballpark after playing in Sacramento the last 4 days. It would only be a look to Brown. Again, he has been spectacular, bona fide ace for the Houston Astros.
On my list of pitchers that I definitely want to back today, and I've been on the Astros the last couple days. Yesterday did not work, but they did tie it up. They had a chance to win that game. So right back here, I'm just going to lay the 1.5 plus 105 against the Angels. I like the spot as well. You mentioned it. Way less travel for the Astros coming into this one. I do have Kikuchi rated pretty dang high, but I love Hunter Brown. 79% of his starts have been quality starts, so you can expect him to go 6 innings at least. And you brought up his ERA already, so that's the way I'm playing this one.
By the way, Kurtz yesterday for the A's, which we'll get to a little bit later, but it was at the expense of the Astros.
Yes.
From Sarah Langs, Kurtz is the second player in at least the last 50 seasons with 2 walk-off homers in a calendar month at the age of 22 or younger, joining Hall of Famer Eddie Murray in 1978. Pretty good. And yesterday, that one was that was a bomb. They were both bombs, the walk-offs. Last night doing it off of Josh Hader. Speaking of the Athletics, they take on the Guardians, who won 2 out of 3 in San Francisco. Easy trek from San Fran to Sacktown. Bybee and Springs. Tanner is a minus 120 road favorite. Totals 9. Alex, we're doing it again in Sacramento. It is this weather pattern that we're getting. We're getting it blowing out again at 15 miles an hour. It's not as hot as it's been, mid-70s, but boy, wind blowing out in this ballpark, always good for hitting, even with a lineup in Cleveland that we don't really love.
Well, and the funny thing is, sometimes numbers lie in this Guardians. If you look at their offense the last 7, it does not look great. 188 batting average, 234 on base percentage, but we've seen this Guardians lineup do pretty well. So I'm with you. I have it 9.5. You could probably add a little bit more for that wind. So no problem at all with over 9 there.
Next up, we go to Chicago Day Baseball at Wrigley. Rosenberg's on the Cubs run line with Matthew Boyd against George Kirby. 9.5 in a George Kirby, Matt Boyd game tells you one thing, Alex White. Tells you the wind's blowing out, which it is, the dead center. Potential for rain around first pitch. It looks like they're going to be good by about 1:50, 2 o'clock. So maybe a small delay, if anything, more likely than not. They'll just play through it. It'll only be a look to the Cubbies at minus 135 for me, Alex. That'd be the only way I look to play it.
I'm anticipating George Kirby getting back. He does have 1 quality start now under his belt. Last he saw Cleveland only went 5 innings in that, but the time before that against the Angels, 7 innings pitched for him, just 2 earned runs. He has been a little bit unlucky as well, so his last 3 starts, hitters are hitting 167, but just a 186 xFIP. Matthew Boyd has been awesome, but numbers are completely opposite for him. Opponents hitting 197 and a 471 xFIP. So if anything, I would probably take that plus 120 on the Mariners and George Kirby, but I'm just going to stay off. And you're right. Right away, I saw that 9, wanted to look at under 5, but can't do anything with that weather.
Agree 100%. Wind blowing out at Wrigley today. We go to Pittsburgh next. Jacob deGrom back on the bump, like taking on the Pirates. It'll be Burrows on the other spot, on the other side for the Buccos. Minus 85 on deGrom, plus 165 on Burrows. Total 7.5 at PNC tonight.
Love this one here with deGrom going. Probably just going to lay the run line. Again, even money there. Take a shot here. DeGrom, 5 of his last 6 starts have all been quality starts, and he only has 7 on the year. So he is definitely starting to get into form. His last 13 innings pitched, okay, at competition. It is the White Sox and the Nationals, but no walks, and he has 14 strikeouts in those 2 starts. So DeGrom's definitely a guy I would like to back today, and it works out perfect against a Pirates team that is second to worst after the Red Sox offensively. 191 average and 44 WRC plus for them. So I'll be on the Rangers here today.
Going to Minneapolis next. Great pitching matchup. Brew Crew and Twins. Mizorowski will make his second career start after getting bumped because of weather 2 days ago in Chicago. Joe Ryan goes for Minnesota. Twins, minus 55, plus 40 on Mizorowski on a take-back total of 8 at Target Field tonight.
Again, when it was going to be Mizorowski against the Cubs there, I was saying it was a pretty cheap price for that home team, and maybe he was getting a little bit too much love, and I think that this is a cheap price here on Joe Ryan and the Twins at home. I think they should be closer to minus 190. So minus 155 just to win the game. I think that's pretty fair. I wouldn't mind an under either because I do think Mizorowski can pitch well, at least for seeing the first round through of the lineup. So under first 5 as well might be a good bet. Under 4. I love that actually. So might even like that one more than the Twins. Just in case.
I think the under 4 is good.
Yeah.
Ryan, again, has been great for Minnesota. Twins have come back to earth. They're back at 500. But again, the American League race for that second wild card is a jumbled, mediocre mess. Again, only Rays and Jays more than 2 games over 500 in that wild card race. That's why they sit in the 4 and 5 holes right now. All right, San Diego we go. Padres back home after that series in LA where they lost 3 out of 4, able to salvage the final one last night. Lorenzen and Pivetta. Pivetta's minus 50 at home, total 7.5. Royals just had a good week in Texas with winning 3 straight. I can't figure out the Royals at this point, Alex. It would only be a look for Pivetta for me, Alex, but I'm going to probably steer clear just because of how confusing this darn Royal team has been.
Could not agree anymore, but I think that's a cheap price here. I like what I saw from the Padres. They just kind of were they didn't have enough to play against the Dodgers, which could be a problem when it comes to the postseason, but they played well. Just, couldn't finish those games there. So I think minus 150 is a great price here with Nick Pivetta. And kind of faded Lorenzen on the other side. Plus, I'm kind of fading the Royals, actually. I'm not really fully believing that they are back or going to keep that win streak going.
Up next, we go to San Francisco. Revenge spot. San Francisco with Rafael Devers taking on his former team.
That's right.
Here today. The Red Sox and the Giants. Dobbins and Birdsong, minus 25 on the Giants, plus 10 on the Red Sox. 7.5 the total. Is this the square bet of the day, taking Devers props?
I think so.
I'm going to steer clear. I actually, if anything, would only take Boston in this game. They actually have played pretty well the last week, even with the trade of Devers. But I wish I was getting probably about 15 cents more. It is a pitching advantage for Birdsong over Dobbins here in this game.
I think I'm a bigger Birdsong fan than most, but I like his median numbers here. I don't like how he's not going deep into the games yet. So that 0 earned run looks great, but he's only gone to 6 innings once. And that was his last start though. And it was in Colorado. So I'm going to go with that and think he can pitch well here today. That number's correct on the Giants, minus 125 at home. So nothing really there, but yeah, I don't hate it if you want to go over bases for Devers or anything like that.
All right. We'll take a quick break. When we get back, trivia answer whiteboard, and we check in with Matt Neverett live from his hotel room after a night out partying for the Aviators winning the PCL first half. We'll be back. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rockin' dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grandview Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grandview Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grandview Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby. South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Welcome back in Sports by the Book. Well, this is our next to last segment because we're going to check in with our good friend Matt Neverett live from the state of Texas in a few moments. But first, Alex, we got to get your whiteboard and the trivia question today, which was an NBA question. Which NBA franchise won both their first and third titles specifically on this day, June 20th? That, of course, was the Miami Heat. They did it in 2006 behind Dwayne Wade's epic finals performance over the Dallas Mavericks. Pat Riley, the coach of that team. And, of course, in 2013, that was the second one. That would not have happened if it wasn't for Ray Allen. Alex, I missed all of that Game 7 because I got in a car accident 1 hour before the game. Obviously, I was okay. But that was one for the history books on my end as well. Brown and company winning their second in a row over the San Antonio Spurs in that series. JR got it right. So JR, I think, has a lead now over Nick by a game. So I'll have to double check the standings as we go through for trivia here in the month of June.
Very fitting because it is June 20th and it is also my sister's birthday. So very happy birthday to my sister Savannah. But Miami Heat, she loves that team, and Jimmy Butler, who's no longer there, but she likes Golden State as well. So it all works out.
It was meant to be.
Yes.
It was meant to be.
Yes.
All right, whiteboard here on a Friday, Alex.
All right, I'm going to try and keep it pretty simple today. Really, I mean, the last few days, kind of looking at the starting pitchers I really want to back, and I'm doing that here with these 4 plays. So Zach Wheeler, definitely want to back them with the Phillies, but I also think they can get to Tidwell. This is kind of a bullpen day for the Mets, so we're going over their team total over 4.5. Astros, definitely want to back Hunter Brown here. I'm laying the 1.5. They're on the road. We're taking that plus 105. Rangers, we're going with Jacob deGrom we're taking the Rangers minus 1.5, even money. And then Brewers and Twins, it was Joe Ryan that I had circled to back here with the Twins, so I do like that side. But I think under 4, trusting the rookie here, Mizrowski, to pitch well against this Twins lineup as well. So first 5, under 4 for me. And then I'll probably be playing a little bit of that double play for the Yankees.
All right. There we go. That double, hey, look, the double play is going to be sweeping the nation by the end of the week, and especially while they're not pricing it right still.
Correct.
Definitely should take advantage of it. All right. We're going to take a 30. When we get back, Matt Neverett from his hotel room in suburban Sugar Land, Texas, get the reaction to a first half championship for the Aviators. Also, I'm sure Matt has some MLB thoughts as well. When we get back in 30 here on Sports by the Book.
A new season high for the Athletics AAA affiliate as they improve to 48-24, celebrating on the mound as the Aviators continue their dominance all week long. They take the first 4 games of a 7-game series. Champagne will be a-flowing in the clubhouse tonight.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at the celebration last night in Sugarland. Oh, there it goes.
So Ryan called this earlier this week. He said they were going to wrap it up by Thursday. They had a doubleheader, and it's pretty exciting stuff there.
So the call, you heard it on 9:20 a.m. here in Las Vegas. The zoom in on, oh, look at, there he is. Oh my goodness, there he is.
Celebrating a special occasion.
Oh, and there it goes.
Love fine dining.
We've broken the set here. Well, actually, we almost broke the set yesterday, actually, but that's a different story for a different time. Our good friend Matt Everett from a hotel room outside of Sugarland, Texas. Matt, first off, congratulations to you. I know you worked hard and your prep to win this championship on your own. But look, man, it's awesome to call a championship team. And hey, you got playoff baseball just due north of us in Summerlin come September now.
Yeah, how about that? I appreciate you guys having me on. I can confirm I wasn't too late of a night in Southeast Texas, just outside of Houston. But this Aviators team with a chance, if they can win 2 of the next 3, somehow pulling themselves up by their bootstraps after a long night last night, they could have a chance to win 50 games in the first half of the season, a 50-25 record, very much in the cards for this team. A lot of fun. That was the first locker room celebration that I've been able to take part in. I had been involved in one prior when the Red Sox won the American League East in 2017. My dad, Tim, was still calling games for them, and I was interning with WEEI after my season had ended with Birmingham that year. So that was cool to be a part of. Even more fun to get involved and get some champagne spread around. That was a lot of fun last night.
Matt, you brought it up. I mean, it's been a lot of fun watching these Aviators this year. We know that it is a hitter-friendly ballpark, Las Vegas ballpark, that is. But a plus 180 run differential is pretty nuts, especially Oklahoma City next best at plus 70. So they're doing it home and away with their bats.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the best run differential in all of minor league baseball. They've got the best batting average, over 300 as a team in all the minor leagues. They've got the best team ERA in the Pacific Coast League. As if you have watched any Pacific Coast League baseball over the years, you know that is a tough task and a hard ask. But this has been as dominant a team all year long as I've seen in my years working in baseball. It's the first time that Las Vegas has made the playoffs since 2019, and they've got a legitimate chance to win 90-plus games. And as you had said, host the PCL Championship Series the 23rd, the 24th, and if necessary, the 25th of September. And then, of course, the AAA Championship game already scheduled for Las Vegas Ballpark on September 27th. And the Aviators hope for a ring, maybe even 2. I don't know if they would combine it with the PCL Championship and the AAA Championship. I know Sugarland, who won everything last year, got 1 big fat ring. So that may be the way that they go here.
That'll be fun. We can get the ring size for Matt and go from there as well. But Matt, I just want to ask you real quick, just with you for look, you're calling these games, you're around this team every single day, and just for your broadcaster perspective, I mean, just how sweet is this for you? Like you said, your first professional dog pile champagne celebration last night. I mean, that's just got to be the best feeling in the world for you.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, it comes on the heels of an 11-game winning streak. So it wasn't like they've, snuck their way in, squeaked their way by. They have been absolutely dominant, just running through teams with the offense and the pitching, as mentioned. And this team coming into the season, we knew was going to be something special. They began the year with 10 of the top 30 prospects in the Athletics organization. They've already sent a couple of big names to the major leagues in Denzel Clark and, of course, Nick Kurtz, who has really been so much fun to watch. Another walk-off home run for him last night. And just, small world, crazy baseball stuff. How about this? Last night, I'm in the clubhouse, and I see a coach walking by, or what looked to be a coach, someone I hadn't recognized before. And I did not a double take, not a triple take, but a quadruple. And I'm like, is that Big Mac? It was Mark McGuire. just hanging out as a roving instructor, bouncing around to different athletics affiliates in his front office role now. And we, after the game, after the celebration, went over to a restaurant bar right by the hotel and continued the celebration. And I was standing having a conversation with Mark McGuire when Nick Kurtz hit that walk-off home run last night. You cannot make that stuff up. He was my number one all-time favorite player as a child. That was a dream come true moment too.
It's pretty awesome, man. That's awesome. And Matt, before we let you go, I just gotta ask you, because of course your Boston roots, real quick. Devers gets dealt, stuns everyone. Your thoughts before we let you get prepared for tonight's Aviators and Space Cowboy matchup.
Kind of a long festering issue, I would say, in Boston with Rafael Devers. You know, we got the big extension and kind of thought that it was going to be up to him to make a lot of these decisions. And I see both sides. Like, you got the player's perspective saying, all right, you're the one paying me all this money. I should be able to have a little bit more say. But then from the team side, hey, we're paying you all this money. You got to do what we say. And it all kind of started when they told him, hey, we DH. And he said, all right, sounds good. And then they said, we want you to maybe pick up a glove again, play some third, and maybe play first for the first time in your pro career. And, you know, his response was, whoa, wait a minute. You can't just go back and forth. I can kind of see both sides, but at the end of the day, Craig Breslow had just had enough, and I think that's what it was. It was very telling as well. I saw a quote from David Ortiz, who had said that he, tried his best to take Devers under his wing and, show him what it's like to be the face of a franchise. And he really didn't get a lot of reciprocation from Devers in that front. So kind of, a necessary evil, I would say. Now, I don't know if the return is anything great. Kyle Harrison, we've seen a lot of, because when he was with Sacramento, he dominated the Aviators. He's got a plus changeup, and they've basically already said that they're going to keep him down in AAA Worcester through July 4th because they get another year of control on his contract, and they also want to kind of retool his arsenal. So I think he's going to be a big get. The ask was for the Giants' number one prospect in Hunter Bishop, and the Giants said nope, and the Red Sox said, all right, sounds good. So it's going to take a little bit to play out. I do think that Devers is going to have a very, very good level of success in the Bay Area. They may not name it Devers Cove, but he's going to hit a lot of balls into the water beyond the fence and right.
It'll take a lot to rename that, but yeah, it's good fit.
Yeah.
Good fit all the way around for Devers and San Fran. Matt Neverett, of course, you've seen him on this desk plenty. You, the voice of the Aviators, UNLV football, UNLV basketball. Matt, I know we'll have you back later in the summer to discuss the Mountain West, which seems a lot more wide open than it's been in previous years. So we're looking forward to that. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy these last 3 games. I hope you enjoyed yourself last night, Matt. Appreciate you hopping on with us.
I definitely did. Absolutely. I definitely enjoyed myself with you guys as well. Happy to come on anytime.
Very good. Thank you very much. Matt Neverett, everyone. Always love, take care, buddy. Always love catching up with, again, our guests have good hair. I mean, Matt has good hair. Vinny has good hair. I mean, it's a fun time, to say the very least.
I was going to say good energy as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
Berg for sure. And Adam and Matt as well. I will say Matt is a lot more awake than I would have been after a night on the town, after a clincher. So I give Matt a ton of credit for that. All right. That's all we got for you here today. You and I are back Monday. Dwayne Colucci will be with us. We'll have an NBA champion to talk about as well, and baseball. A lot to get to on Monday on the show. Big shout to the crew: Vince, Drew Dog, Ryan, Ann, Sean, Jerry. Thank you as always, Alex. Good luck. Have a good weekend as well. Enjoy yourself. We'll see you all on Monday right here, Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.